Good afternoon, everyone. So, we are here to continue with the same story that we left yesterday, and the story is The Fortune Teller by Carol Capek. Now, I think if you remember, we stopped where Inspector McCleary had decided that now he is planning to move forward to go to visit Mrs. Meyer's house and find out what exactly from where she's getting the money or from what exactly her occupation is. "All right, Bob," said the excellent Mrs. McCleary, "you leave it to me." And so it came about that on the following day, Mrs. McCleary, of course, without a wedding ring, went on other hand with very girlishly dressed, with a scared look on her baby face, rang at Mrs. Meyer's door in Bayswater or possibly Marylebone. She had to wait quite a while before Mrs. Meyer received her. So now, in fact, Mrs. McCleary told her husband, Inspector McCleary, that you don't worry about it. I'll just go and find out what exactly the matter is. And she said, let me just carry on an attire. Let me have an attire. And she was already married, but she dressed in a very girlish way. And she wore a ring. Sorry, she took the ring out. And she just went to the door, and then she waited for Mrs. Myers to receive her. As soon as Mrs. Myers saw her, she said, sit down, my dear. And she thoroughly inspected and looked at her. And she said to Mrs. McCleary, what can I do for you? And Mrs. McCleary stammered a bit. I mean, she was quite hesitant. She says, I'm awfully anxious to know about my future. She said, it's my 20th birthday tomorrow. And it is just a made up story. It wasn't her 20th birthday. But she still said, I want to know about my future. But miss, what name please? Quoth Mrs. Myers, and seized a pack of cards which she began to shuffle energetically. Now she says, come on, let me know your name. And she caught hold a pack of cards and she began to shuffle them just to show that, okay, she is expert in telling the future. So let's come to Unit 4. What happens after that? Jones, again. Now she's mentioned the name of the cards and she's just trying to impress Mrs. McCleary. My dear Miss Jones, continued Mrs. Myers, don't misunderstand me. I don't tell fortunes by cards, except, of course, just now and then to oblige a friend, or as every old woman does. Take the cards in your left hand and divide them into 5 heaps. That's right. Sometimes I read the cards at a pastime, but apart from that, dear me, she said, cutting the first heap, diamonds. So she's, come on, you take the pack of cards and then I'll tell you what exactly needs to be done. And she says, come on, diamonds, that means money. And she says, okay, knave of hearts, oh, that's a nice hand. She said that. Spades means hope. Okay, said Mrs. Larry. And what else? Knave of diamonds? Proceeded Mrs. Myers, uncovering the second heap, and then 10 of spades. Oh, that's a journey. And clubs. Oh, there's a queen of hearts at the bottom. Now, these are the explanations which she has been given. What does it mean? Asked Mrs. McCleary. She was opening her eyes very wide and she wanted to know what exactly does it mean. She says, diamond, there's lots of money in store for you. Diamond means, and whether I can't tell whether you're going to a long journey or whether someone near and dear to you. So she said, oh, I have to go to Southampton to see my aunt. She said, that must be a long journey, said Mrs. Myers, cutting the 4th heap. And he says, somebody is going to get in your way, some elderly man. So she says, an elderly man will come in your way and he will try to disrupt your pattern. I expect that's my uncle, she said. Okay, so well, here we got something and no mistake, declared Mrs. Myers. The 5th heap. And she said, my dear Miss Jones, this is the nicest hand I've ever seen in my life. And she said, there'll be a wedding before the year's out, before the year goes out, before the year is over. You will be getting married to a very rich young man, and he must be a millionaire or a businessman because he travels a lot. And he says, before you're united, you have to overcome some obstacles in your way. And there's an elderly kind of a old man who will come in your way, but you must have patience, and as soon as you get married, you have to go a long way across the ocean. I feel this is what your future is. So now Mrs. McCleary is just smiling inside because she already knows that she's married, and there's nothing like that. So she now she could make it out that okay, what kind of fortune teller she is. And then Mrs. Myers say, my fee is a guinea. She says a guinea. It could be it's a kind of a pence that she wants for the Christian mission to the poor Negroes. She says, whatever fee I'm getting for looking at after looking at the fortune of the people, I'm giving it to the poor Negroes. And Mrs. McCleary was really happy. She says, I'm so proud of you. I'm grateful to you that you are doing this noble work. Mrs. Myers, what it cost without any of those worries. The cards can't be bribed, she said the old lady with dignity. What's your uncle? He's a police, lied the young lady with innocent face. You know the Secret Service? So again, now she said that my uncle is in the Secret Service and the police. Oh, said the old lady, and drew 3 cards out of the heap. Very nasty. Tell him, my dear, that he's threatened by great danger. Now again, she started predicting the future of the uncle also. He ought to come and see me. He must come and see me. He's in great danger. There's lots of them from Scotland Yard come here and get me to read the scares for them, and they'll tell what they have on their minds. You just send him to me. You say he's in a Secret Service work, Mr. Jones. Tell him I'll be expecting him. Goodbye, dear Miss Jones. Next, please. So now she is also predicting the future of her uncle, who is in Scotland Yard, that is the police. And then she says, you send him to me and let me see if I could help him in some or the other way. So this is the way there's a conversation goes on between Mrs. Myers and Mrs. McCleary, who disguises herself as Miss Jones, and this is the way he goes to meet Mrs. Myers in order to try to find out the real secret of her living. Now let's come to Unit 5. What happens after that? I don't like the look of this, said Mr. McCleary, scratching his neck. Now when she tells all the story to her husband, Mr. McCleary, he says, I'm really surprised. He says, okay, the woman was much interested in your late uncle. Besides, her real name isn't Myers, it is Meyerhofer, and she comes from Lübeck. Now this is the information he finds, the background of Mrs. Myers. He tries to find out that she is not Mrs. Myers, but her real name is Meyerhofer, and she comes from Lübeck. She's a German. So again she says she's from Germany. I wonder how we can stop her little game. I wouldn't mind betting 5 to 1 that she worms things out of people that are no business of hers. She says, I think something is wrong with her. She's not just an honest fortune teller. I'll tell you what, I'll pass the word on to the bosses. I'll tell my seniors and superiors that this is the case, and let's see what happens. Now, Mr. McCleary, in good faith, passes the word to the bosses, and the bosses took a serious view of the matter, and it came out worthy that Mrs. Myers was summoned to appear. So now when he passes all the information to the people there, the seniors, and then they decide that what action has to be taken in order to find out, or in which way Mrs. Myers need to be summoned. Summoned means called to the court. And who was the judge? We already know this character. He was Mr. Kelly JP, and we have already met this character initially when the story began, that he was a judge, and he's the one who dealt with this case there and then. We'll continue with the story, and I hope that you will be reading the text so that you'll be able to understand in a much better way how the suspense is unveiled and how we are able to come up to a very interesting, sarcastic and humorous story. Thank you. Please read the story. Thank you.